Fly ball. Right center field. Perez got it! The Tigers, for the first time in 10 years, are going to the playoffs. It's actually happening.
Live from the Dr. Jerry Henderson Radio Complex, it's time for Card Guys. And now, here's your host, Anthony Schulte.
Good morning. Thank you, Michael, for the intro as always, and welcome to Card Guys Detroit Sports Talk, Season 3, Episode 7. Coming up today, the Tigers are playoff bound. As you just saw, the Tigers clinched on Friday with a win over the White Sox. We discuss everything Tigers before their meeting against the Houston Astros. We also preview the Lions' Monday night tilt against the Seahawks, and we cap off our show with our Week 4 NFL recap. I'm Anthony Schulte, and joining me as always, my man, Ryan Donnelly.
Don't let the Tigers get hot, and they let them get hot.
I forgot to put on my headphones.
Oh, no.
Oh, what a start to the week, huh? What a start to the week. All right. Right next to me, Mr. Michael Rosenkranz.
Playoff bound in Detroit. And before we get to anything and before the Lions, I got to drop a legendary quote. My family was here yesterday, and they came up at about 2 o'clock, spent the day with them, went to Ascend to eat, and hung out at the casino last night. And one of the biggest things, my grandma was up here, and she asked me what time the Lions game was. And I said, it'll be around like 8:15 at night. She says, I usually play cards at that time, but I'm going to have to tell my friend Joyce, sorry, Joyce, no can do. I got to watch the Lions play. So,
priorities.
Nice.
Exactly.
Priorities.
My grandma's got her priorities straight. Respect for that.
There it is. I feel like a lot of people are putting aside a lot of things for Detroit sports as of late. I can't believe I forgot my headphones. But I knew I was forgetting something when we started the show. I was like, what am I forgetting? And then I noticed it was my headphones. Well, that was a nice little blunder from me. All right, let's start off with the show with a little bit of housekeeping.
Oh.
First, want to mention that next week we have our first guest of Season 3 scheduled to join the show. We're going to welcome Detroit Pistons beat writer from the Detroit Free Press and a good buddy of mine, Omari Sankofa, will be joining the program next week. Talk some Pistons, upcoming season, media days this week. We'll be already into the preseason next week. Pistons' first game is Sunday. So a lot to be excited about. We have a lot to talk about. So we're very excited to welcome Omari to the program. And it should be a fun one. Should be fun guest to have on the show. Also, next week, we will only have one episode of Card Guys on Wednesday. Due to mental health break, we could really only do Wednesday. So, and these two won't be here. Unless we want a show with just me, but I'm not sure you guys want to hear me talking for an hour, just myself. So,
Or we could do a show via Zoom. Or, like...
That's how are we going to go over the radio?
I don't know.
We're going to have a show Wednesday, as we're troubleshooting it live on air. We're going to have a show Wednesday, our only show next week, and it'll be with Omari Sankofa. We're going to try and fit in some Lions, too, at the end of that. Not Lions, NFL, our picks, just to kind of get them out there before that episode ends, just because of the short week on our end. It is a Lions and CMU football bye next week, so... Just no Michigan football around here, at least. There is Michigan Washington though.
Oh yeah,
prime time.
Yes,
a little rematch from the national championship.
Michigan's going to whoop them, and by whoop I mean they're going to win by like 2,
a field goal,
but by one score. They
Maybe
almost
a couple field goals because Grady Gross was in shambles his last game.
Where is Washington coming
here? He went like
going?
1 for 4. We're going to Washington. Grady Gross was like 1 for 4 the last time he played in field goals. He was awful.
So that Michigan will be playing Saturday too, but Lions, CMU, both with a bye week. So a lot of watching other teams next weekend as We don't have any of our teams playing.
Possibly more Tigers baseball next week.
Possibly.
Maybe.
Strong maybe. Hopefully the Tigers can steal a series against the Houston Garbage Cans. Anyways, 3 stars. Ryan, start us off with your 3 stars.
Okay, so my 3 stars for Monday. 3rd star, Jaden Daniels, who yesterday against the Cardinals, who we'll talk about that game later in the show, went 26 for 30, 233 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. His longest ball was 27 yards, a 96.3 QBR, an 86.7 completion rating. He's the future. He is the future of quarterbacks in the NFL. He is going to be something special.
He's having a C.J. Stroud type rookie season so far.
And I said this on Wednesday's show, and I think I said it on Monday's show, and I don't like being repetitive, but Jaden Daniels is the best quarterback in this draft class, not Caleb Williams, not J.J. McCarthy. Bo Nix could be a close second. It's Jaden Daniels. My 2nd star, a man who put up so many points for me in fantasy. In one league, he put up clutch points. In the other league, it was the nail in the coffin because this man went off last night. Derrick Henry. Big truss. Woo-woo. King Henry in the flesh. 200 yards. 2 touchdowns. 3 receptions. About 8 or 9 yards per carry, including an 87-yard run, longest in Ravens history. I got him in the 2nd round in both my leagues. I'm so happy I have King Henry on my team. He is going off this year. He's looking like the best running back at age 30. And my 1st star, A.J. Hinch. Did you think I was going to say Styles? No. Okay.
He will be back on Friday Night SmackDown.
He will. And I will be No, I won't.
No, you won't.
I will be at the Red Wings game. But with friend of the show, Derek Steele. But A.J. Hinch, man, the turnaround from August, going from 9 games back to now playing against the Astros this week in the wild card. And not only that, he dropped the hardest quote by any Detroit sports coach. When I asked you midway through the season, what team did you want to be? I guess you wanted to be a playoff team. That's such a fantastic quote. The best I've heard from any of my coaches, and Dan Campbell is one of my coaches. That was hard. And thank you, AJ, for turning this around, for helping this team go from worst to first, it feels like. And I'm so excited to see what you guys are going to do this week against the Astros. Hopefully we can end this dynasty. I want them gone. They're the Warriors of the MLB. Yeah, Isaac and I were talking about this and the McDonald's drive-thru on Saturday.
Did you say Jose first?
What?
I don't think so.
This morning is so weird, bro. Why am I hearing?
Where did Jose come from,
I thought I heard him say Jose. Who's Jose?
Jose Altuve?
I don't know. I heard you say Jose before Isaac.
I heard Isaac.
I
can't wait to watch that back to see if I'm going crazy or if
I think you're going crazy.
I think you might be going crazy.
Jose Altuve is
to break it to you, man.
Jose Altuve is Steph Curry. Jordan Alvarez is Draymond Green. Kyle Tucker's like Jonathan Kuminga, and then Bregman's like Klay Thompson because he's gonna leave this offseason and come to the Tigers. I hope. I want that. Anyways, that's my 3 stars.
Yes, Saquon is the best running back in the NFL.
He didn't look like that last night.
Well, he looked like it the first 3 weeks, and he still had 82 yards on the ground when nobody else could do anything on the Eagles.
Well, Derrick Henry had 200 on the ground yesterday.
Yeah, do you want to look at Saquon Barkley's last 3 weeks?
I've already seen him.
Yeah, he's better.
Michael, go ahead.
All right, so my 3 stars, I'm going to go Lamar Jackson as my 3rd star. A little bit more of a lower offensive day for him in terms of passing, only 156 yards. And he only threw 18 passes. He completed 13 of 18. His longest was 26, but that's really all you need when he's such a dynamic quarterback. You don't really need a lot of passing attempts.
Especially when Derrick Henry is having a good night.
Exactly. And Derrick Henry did complement Lamar Jackson very, very well. Ravens put on a whooping to the Bills, 35-10. That was a big prove-it game for the Ravens, and they sure proved it against one of the hottest teams in the NFL.
Sold my parlay, Bills.
Oh, no.
Same here.
My second star is going to be the 49ers defense. They put up 25.75 points in fantasy for me last night. It was just a great game for them overall. Fred Warner with the 45-yard pick six. Six sacks in total, 4 forced fumbles, and then 2 fumble recoveries. They just went off yesterday. And for a defense that hasn't been looking so hot so far this season, they had a good comeback game against the Patriots. Now, granted, the Patriots aren't the best team, but you still want to have...
team in the NFL.
Probably. Well, you think the Panthers?
No.
Not with the
Panthers kept it to 10 to the Bengals yesterday.
Yeah, the Panthers are better than we all thought they would be after their demolition in Week 1.
Yes. But this was a good comeback game for the 49ers defense. My first star's got to go to Justin Fields. He put up just about 36 points in fantasy yesterday, and even though the Steelers lost, he made a little bit of history. Per ESPN, Justin Fields is the first Steelers player to have 300 passing yards, 50 rushing yards, and 2 rushing touchdowns in one game.
Wow.
And unfortunately, the Steelers still lost, but that's a great bit of history for Justin Fields, and he's just continuing to be a dynamic quarterback for the Steelers. The Steelers are looking good. Mike Tomlin has always put on a winning streaks, winning records with the Steelers, and one game's not going to define them so far. They'll bounce back. Anthony, what do you got for us?
Oh, my 3 stars. All right. So, Tristan Mattson will be my 3rd star, the kicker for CMU. Game winner, in essence, the go-ahead.
Clarkston native, Tristan Mattson.
Yes.
Clarkston native. Go Wolves!
And he to beat SDSU, which is an actual team that's not in the MAC and not like an FCS school. So they're an actual team from an actual conference that plays actual games. So we beat them. So that's pretty cool, especially here too.
That was
sweet.
So that's 2 straight comeback performances from CMU. Game-winning field goal after we stopped them after a kickoff. So good stuff there. Tristan Mattson, 3rd star. 2nd star, Texans defense. Giving up a lot of points, in essence, to Jacksonville. But Jacksonville was knocking on the door to take the lead late in the game, and the Texans held up. And they did their job. 2 straight possessions where the Texans defense did their job, got the ball back, and they won the ball game. I'll give it to the Texans defense, even though they only got me 1 singular gold doubloon in fantasy. Whenever I pick up a defense, if I pick up the defense, just pick the other team. Because their defense is going to be absolutely putrid the entire day. 1 point. If I would have kept the Buccaneers from last week, I would have gotten 13. You kidding me? What's going on here? Anyways, 1st star, Scott Harris. Put together this team. At the trade deadline, he said these young guys, trust in these young guys. He put all of his eggs into the young guys' basket. And we were all like, no, you need to go get veterans. You need to go get another bat. You need to go get this. We're not going to do anything. And he proved us all wrong. Looks like what he wanted to do worked because this team is now in the playoffs. So hats off to Scott Harris. Completely proved all of us wrong. There's a reason why he's sitting in the big office down at Comerica's, and we're sitting here in a radio studio on a college campus. So there's a stark difference, and there's a reason why he's calling all the shots there. My 1st star, Scott Harris. All right. Let's talk some Detroit Tigers.
Oh, yes.
Let's do it.
Tigers coming off a very exciting weekend. Again, exciting Friday against the Chicago White Sox, clinching their first playoff berth since 2014, but then end up losing the next 2. Royals win last night, which means we're not seeing the Orioles in Baltimore, which probably would have been a little more opportune time-wise. We're playing Houston in the first game of the playoffs and the first game of each day of the wild card round. The AL has the day tilts, NL is at night, and 2:32 first pitch against the Houston Astros. And the Tigers are finally back in the playoffs, which is very exciting.
This is a very exciting time for not only the Tigers, but just Detroit sports as a whole. Everything's turning around. You got the Tigers, who just made the wild card. You got the Lions, who are killing it right now, sort of. You got the Red Wings, who are going to probably make the playoffs this year. And then you got the Pistons, who Yup, Detroit sports
haven't been relocated yet.
Detroit, who they don't want to admit it, but another culture change, and this one hopefully is good. Hopefully, Pistons are up next. I don't think so, but what the heck? Your Anthony's alarm went off.
Anthony's alarm went off. This is a subtle reminder that when we talk Pistons, it's bad times, dude. For those of you who may be listening to this on radio, this is not scripted or anything. The second we start talking about Pistons, all of a sudden, Anthony's alarm goes off. That just tells you the Pistons are a bad omen.
Why?
The aura from Detroit basketball is so bad that Apple doesn't want us to talk about
I don't even have one scheduled. Look.
Wow, they don't want us to talk about Detroit basketball.
I had no alarm. I thought I turned them all off this morning. I thought I turned all of them off. I usually just turn them all off when I go to bed.
Top 5 card guys moment of all time. But listen, okay, this weekend wasn't ideal, but then again, we were they were partying to hardying. Let's say that.
Yes, they were the hungover Tigers.
Yeah, the hangover Tigers don't look great.
Nope, they showed
3 hits
yesterday.
Okay, no matter what, 3 hits against the worst team in the modern MLB is not acceptable. 3 hits against any bad team is still unacceptable, let alone against the White Sox, who set the record on Friday for most losses in the modern era. But we didn't even win yesterday. Obviously, after a Kerry Carpenter grand slam. Still couldn't get it done, but nonetheless...
Giving up. We weren't going to win that game either way.
No.
When we saw Kenta Maeda was on the bump to start the game,
I think
we should have known that this was A.J. Hinch saying, let's get to Houston.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then they throw in Montero for 4. It's like, all right, you're just using the guys you're not going to... I know they'll bring Montero, I think, but... do they bring Montero, or do they just do Skubal, Olsen, bullpen?
Skubal, Olsen, bullpen. That's what they should do, but...
Especially since Montero pitched yesterday, too.
Yeah.
They're going to want to rest him for a little bit. Yeah, it was Maeda, Montero, and then I don't remember...
I think Montero closed the game out.
Montero closed the game out. Didn't Mize sort of slide in there, too?
Mize
I think Mize slid in there, too.
Folks,
So
I
it was
did not
Maeda,
want...
Mize, Montero.
Folks, I was locked in the Cary 4th floor study hall room all day yesterday. I did not watch the Tigers. I didn't watch NFL football last night.
Crazy.
Yeah, I didn't. I actually had academics take over Detroit sports for the first time ever. But, it wasn't really Detroit sport. Well, it was. But, listen, I think, to quote Isaac Haffenden, we wanted to play Houston because we haven't played Houston since what, July? June. Wow. And guess what we were in June? Pretty bad. Very bad, actually. Like PU bad.
Bro just said PU.
We were clip it. We were bad. And we just played Baltimore a couple weeks ago, and they don't know how to beat us. Houston hasn't played this brand new Tigers team yet. Hopefully we could lock in for Houston. I hope the excitements and the, oh my God, we made the playoffs jitters are over. It's time to win the city of Detroit an AL pennant. And it's time. Like, we need it. I need it. I need it. We need it as a city of Detroit. We need something to hold over everybody to say that, a Detroit sports team made a championship. Not a Michigan sports team like Michigan. They won the national championship. A Detroit sports team to hold over everyone. Hey, we have a World Series appearance. Y'all don't. Y'all don't have an NBA Finals appearance. Y'all don't have a Stanley Cup appearance yet. We don't have a Super Bowl appearance yet. Like, the Tigers are setting the bar. You just gotta come. You just gotta climb it, and hopefully we end this Astros dynasty. And I want that, so that way they just blow up. I want the Astros to blow up so bad, like the Warriors.
I think this team's just a little. I want them to win one game in the AL. You have World Series aspirations. Let's just steal a game from the Astros. Let's be honest. The Astros are a better team. They have 693 combined games of playoff experience.
Oh,
we have 2 players that sniff the playoffs on our roster, and one of them's not going to make the playoff roster. So they have the experience. They've been here before. They have the home field advantage. They're going to have that roof closed. It's going to be loud. Steal a game from them. Take it to Thursday. If you get past Thursday, you take 2 games from them. Great. Let's go to the ALDS. But I think you got to take it one game at a time and at least just take one game. If we can win one game in the playoffs, I'll be happy. Because, again, we weren't supposed to be here. We weren't supposed to be here. If we can win one playoff game, not only does that do a lot for development, but it just does a lot for just, the fan. Like, hey, we just won a playoff game.
It does a lot for the fans. And Anthony, you mentioned it, and I agree with you. There's 25 different players on this Tigers roster that are going to have their playoff debut on Tuesday. This young of a team is not going to have playoff experience. So with that, yes, I'm worried for Tuesday. Astros have been in the playoffs multiple times. They have the experience. The fan base knows what that's like. So they're going to be rocking in Houston on Tuesday. You start Skubal on Tuesday. I think that is how you got to steal one. But then again, you always cannot count on just Skubal to carry you. The offense needs to back him up. And with the way that they've been playing these past 42 games, at least past 44 games, which they're now 32-12 in their last 44, still an amazing record. 20 games over in the last 42 games. So I think from there, you just need to have faith in Skubal, and offense needs to find a groove, because the Astros are probably going to send some of their top pitchers to counter against you.
Right.
You could potentially see JV in this series.
You're going to see Fromber.
You could definitely see Fromber Valdez, which he's going to be good because he's always good. It'll come full circle, though, because A.J. Hinch is going back to see his former team, so it'll be an interesting storyline with that. All I can say is we've said it all along in just this game stretch. Just try and find ways to just keep winning.
Right.
Now, you didn't do that against the White Sox on Saturday and yesterday because the Tigers were the hangover Tigers. And that showed. But you got to keep the energy up for Tuesday, because while I was sitting at Ascend dining with my family yesterday, my dad and I were looking at each other and just saying, you can't bring this energy into Houston.
I mean, I think we would have won yesterday if it wasn't for Maeda being on the mound. Maeda gave up
Fair
5
enough.
runs and we scored 5. So,
and quite frankly, I don't know why Maeda is still on this team.
yeah,
He, after this season, especially if he doesn't make the playoff roster, which again I don't think he's going to, he just either needs to be DFA'd or bought out.
DFA. Bye.
You probably can't buy it out because, again, the payroll, you're $60 million below league average, so you probably aren't able to buy him out. Plus, you got a contract with Javi Baez to worry about, so you could either DFA him or buy him out. I think you should just DFA him.
Yep.
So both of those guys should be DFA'd, and this offseason, got to have a major turnaround, and you got to actually look at picking up the right players. Maeda was a bust, Javi was a bust, and hopefully Scott Harris can learn from that and go from there. But for the Tigers, just keep finding ways to win. Let's bring the energy tomorrow afternoon. I'm excited for postseason baseball. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And I have a hot take. I'd rather play at Minute Maid Park rather than in the playoffs rather than play Camden Yards, because the energy at Camden Yards in the playoffs is insane.
I mean, I think energy anywhere.
Same with Minute Maid Park, but the hardest place to play in playoff baseball, in my opinion, is Camden Yards. It's like we saw back in 2014. It was a madhouse. We saw it last year in 2023. There was a madhouse. Houston, still a madhouse, but not as energetic as Baltimore. Like, Baltimore knows how to bring the party. Houston does, but at the same time, it's way more winnable to win at Minute Maid Park in the playoffs rather than Camden Yards. Home field advantage in the playoffs is huge, and I feel like Minute Maid Park is easier when it comes to home field advantage, but still going to be really hard because it's an indoor stadium. Like you said, the roof might be closed. It's going to be loud, but it's no Camden Yards. But
yeah, I mean, both places. I mean, Houston's always been loud for the playoffs. They might be a little bit board, like, oh, wild card. So that might play in our favor a little bit because they're so spoiled that they might not take the
Like the
wild
Red
card
Wings
so
fans.
seriously.
Sorry.
Yeah. But I don't know where I'd rather. I guess I would rather play at Minute Maid than Camden Yards.
Yeah, Camden Yards is so hard to play at, especially around this time. Especially if this team is that good. Like Camden Yards is difficult. Watch a video at home of Camden Yards playoffs. You'll see it's a madhouse.
It is a madhouse. I just go back to that Delman Young go-ahead, 2-run double back in 2014, and the roof just blew off. Though there is no roof at Camden Yards since it's outdoors, so there is no roof to blow off, but that place erupted. Joaquim Soria, why did you throw a hanging breaking ball to Delman Young? Anyways, Tigers were able to get Delman Young in the future. Yeah, it's tough because both are very tough places to play, especially when it's two teams that have playoff experience. It's so interesting because I didn't really know who I'd want to rather play. I probably would have rather played Houston. They're still a good team. Orioles you found a way to beat. Astros were able to beat you back in June. But then again, they haven't played the new Tigers. So they're going to see a completely brand new team, and I'm kind of curious to see how they're going to react to it, and it could be interesting. They may not take us too seriously because it's the wild card. You know, they have aspirations to dig deeper in the playoffs, and so do the Tigers, and this wild card series is definitely going to be all about who wants it more. And Tigers team, youngest in baseball, all the guys want to do is win. The Astros, they've seen it before. They're trying to get back far into the playoffs again, possibly make another World Series run. It's going to be interesting. I think the Tigers riding off the clinching the postseason berth on Friday. I hope that energy stays high from Friday, and they just tell themselves, this is why you're here. Stuff like this. Going 32-12 and your last 44 is why you're here. And that needs to transpire on Tuesday.
Exactly. So, real quickly, picks for Tuesday. Who do we think's winning Game 1?
Oh.
I'm going with the Orioles because...
The Orioles?
I want... Astros.
Oh.
I'm going with the Astros, just not because I want them to win. This is realistic. Who do you think is going to win the game? I think the Astros are going to take Game 1. They've been here. They've done this. I think the Tigers take Game 2, but I think the Astros take Game 1. Kind of a little slap in the face to the Tigers.
I honestly disagree. I'm going to flip-flop it. I think Scuba Bump Day, when you have the Triple Crown winner out there, you're going to win. This offense is way more patient now. That's what I've noticed. And I feel like, especially if the Astros put up Frommer, then it's going to be a pitching masterclass.
If the Astros put up Fromber, we're losing.
Yeah, if the Astros put up Fromber, Valdez, we're screwed.
It'll be a 2-0 loss.
But if it's
our bullpen will give up the 2 runs.
But if it's like outside of Frommer, Valdez, I don't really know any other pitchers on the Astros. Verlander, honestly, Skubal Verlander, Tigers win. Verlander's old. Verlander's washed. I think it goes Tigers, Astros, bullpen day Tigers.
Well, here's where I'll pick your guys' brains. Tomorrow, pitching probables. Tarek Skubal versus Framber Valdez.
Oh.
So it's going to be that pitching masterclass tomorrow. So, yes, you can count on Skubal, but the offense needs to be there to back it up. Astros have that solidified offense. Tigers got a very young offense. They've been heating up. So it's all going to be down to who can make adjustments quicker. And for that reason, I think the Astros are going to win Game 1 just because solely on the fact that they have so much more playoff experience than this Tigers team. So the Astros might steal Game 1, and hopefully the Tigers can adjust on Wednesday and Thursday going forward in the series because you only got basically 2 shots to try and win since it's a best-of-3 series. It's going to be a quick turnaround. It's going to be very short. Who wants it more? You got to show it.
Exactly. I'm going Astros. I hope I'm wrong. I hope the Tigers win.
Yes,
I want the
me
Tigers
too.
to win. But if we're thinking realistically, it's going to be Astros. All right, coming up after this break, we're going to talk some pigskin. NFL Week 4, Detroit Lions, they play tonight, as you can tell by our shirts here. You're watching Card Guys Detroit Sports Talk. We'll be right back after this.
Sports cards, signed jerseys, signed helmets, and more. Miller's Sports Cards and Collectibles is your one-stop shop for all things the hobby. Make sure to check them out down Mission Street in Mount Pleasant, right past Meyer. Miller's Sports Cards and Collectibles. Card Guys, Detroit Sports Talk. Join Michael Rosenkranz,
Sports take precedence over academics.
I agree, but
Ryan Donnelly,
Corbin Burns, who is their big ticket J13 item. Scooble is with us. Scooble's our big ticket.
Did
J1.
you just call Tarek Scooble James?
and Anthony Schulte.
I have an issue.
You have.
There is no break. It's a constant grind. It's an unbreakable cycle.
Yeah, it's.
As they navigate through the Detroit sports landscape. Live Mondays and Wednesdays at 7:30 a.m. on 101.1 The Beat in Mount Pleasant and at 11 a.m. on YouTube. Card Guys, Detroit Sports Talk.
Welcome back, Card Guys Detroit Sports Talk. Ryan Donnelly, Michael Rosenkranz, Anthony Schulte with you here on this Monday morning. The Lions play some football tonight, Monday Night Football, one of the two games on ESPN. We're on ABC, other games on ESPN. Seahawks visit the Lions. As we've mentioned on the show many times before, the Lions can't seem to beat the Seahawks as of late. Hopefully that changes. Some key players to watch for tonight. DK Metcalf, going to have a big game. He's going to have a big game. That's almost guaranteed with this Lions secondary. Brian Branch is doubtful. Rakestraw is questionable. The defense is a little banged up right now. DK Metcalf, someone to watch out for. Kenneth Walker, he's coming back tonight. Geno Smith, another guy to watch out for, slinging the pigskin. And on the Lions side of things, we've got Jared Goff to look out for. Hopefully he can have a clean game. I'm looking for no interceptions from Jared Goff tonight. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamison Williams. And on the defensive end, Kenterion Arnold, God bless you.
I'm sorry.
Kenterion Arnold What? All right, let's reset, brain. Kenterion Arnold kind of eliminate those pass interference calls, eliminate the laundry on the field, and play the way he played in the second half against the Cardinals, where it's lockdown defense, clean lockdown defense. He's starting to earn some respect from the refs. He could be a little bit more physical, I think. So let's see, because right now, those first two games and a half, very, very, very prone to the flags. But cleaned it up in the second half against the Cardinals. See how Terrion does. What are you guys looking for tonight?
I'm just looking for clean football. That's about it. Like this defense, this Seahawks defense, run defense is very good. Pass defense is the best in the NFL. Like you said, I'm hoping for a clean game from Goff. Knowing the way that Goff has been playing lately and knowing this secondary, I don't think that's going to happen. That's me being honest. I'm sorry. I don't know if Goff's going to play a good game. I hope he has a good game. But you got a lot of questions, and it's mostly injuries. Frank Ragnow, out. Luckily, we have a bye week, and he's week to week, which is great. You got Dan Skipper filling in for Frank Ragnow. Can he hold down this? Can he make sure that this Seahawks run defense make sure that they give enough holes for Montgomery and Gibbs? I expect a big game, and I think a big game will come from David Montgomery. I feel like they're just going to run the ball a lot because, like I said multiple times, that secondary with Kobe Bryant, Devon Witherspoon, Michael Jackson. Yes, Kobe Bryant and Michael Jackson do play for the Seattle.
Michael Jackson left. Hold on.
I'm not 100%.
Oh, great. Now I'm getting fat checked.
Sure.
Oh, no, he plays for the Panthers now.
Yeah.
He does play for the Panthers. He was with the Seahawks.
He changed his name to Mike Jackson.
Oh. Oh, that's why. Okay. anyways.
Oh, he played for the Lions at some point.
His secondary is still elite. Like Devon Witherspoon showing shades of Sean Taylor last year. This Seahawks team is looking unstoppable.
I didn't know Mike Jackson played for the Lions.
I didn't know
I
that
guess
either.
I didn't either.
DK Metcalf, gonna go off. Tyler Lockett, gonna go off. Zach Charbonnet, I think will have a slowed down game. I think he's gonna be putting up productive numbers. However, I think this run defense is going to come out and eat, especially against Zach Charbonnet. Kenneth Walker, questionable for tonight. I looked at the Seahawks injury report last night. Looks like Kenneth Walker is doubtful for tonight. Hopefully he doesn't play. But other than that, I just want clean football. I don't care if I think we're still going to lose, honestly, and I'm a man to my word. I picked against the Lions this week. I'm not saying that I'm rooting for the Seahawks. In fact, like I've mentioned multiple times, the Seahawks are my least favorite team in the NFL. I will never root for the Seahawks ever. I just want to see him just clean football, especially with all these injuries lately. Clean football. That's all I want to see.
This is a tough time for the Lions because you're banged up. And the Seahawks have had your number for the past 6 contests, and of those, they've beat you at home for the past 2 times. So they're trying to make that 3 straight times that the Lions have lost at home, 7 straight in the last 12 years. So the Seahawks have had your number for a long time. You're going to have the crowd at Ford Field behind you. Maybe some of those fans, maybe a little high energy off of Tigers clinching the postseason on Friday. And primetime football tonight, you know there's going to be a good crowd 12 hours from now. So, Ryan, you hit on it. Anthony, you hit on it. You got to play clean football. You can't be taking random penalties. Terrion Arnold, we're all looking at you. Playing physical like he did at Alabama, but they're going to throw some flags on you if you're going to make those penalties, especially right in front of the officials, because I feel like that's where it tends to happen the most often for Terrion Arnold, is right in front of an official. But had a good half against the Cardinals, and I think for Jared Goff, he needs to bring variety in like he did with the Cardinals. You established the run game. You got your tight ends involved. You got Laporta involved. Brock Wright involved. Your running back room is good enough. Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. I would like to see a little more David Montgomery because he has both speed and strength, where I think Gibbs just has speed to his game. So I would like to see David Montgomery maybe have a little more touches than Jahmyr Gibbs, but you can still give touches to Jahmyr Gibbs. I just like to see more of David Montgomery because he can power through. He's a veteran running back. He can power through this Seattle run defense, even though it's a very solid defense. The pass defense I'm a little worried about because Jared Goff has a tendency to throw interceptions in big moments, which is going to happen as a quarterback. He's got to be able to clean it up, trust his passing game, and make good decisions. That's another thing that we've kind of harped on Jared Goff. He needs to make better decisions, and he needs to have better awareness in the pocket when he's looking at his options for receivers, because sometimes he tries to force it over the middle, and that's why it gets picked so many times. So he needs to have good awareness in the pocket, look at his receivers, just visualize, is this a good decision, and then let it fly. It needs to be a clean game all around. Your defense is banged up. Defense needs to step up. There's going to be guys that are going to have to step up tonight. So it'll be an interesting game. I really want the Lions to win, but unfortunately I would not be surprised if the Seahawks come into Ford Field and win again.
I think, and one more quickly hit on this, put a button on it. I think one thing, you need to keep that defense off the field as much as possible.
Yes.
Time of possession is very important, I think, in football. I think the Lions need to win that battle. They need to have longer time of possession. Wear their defense out and keep our defense fresh. Hutchinson, he's going to be out. The offensive line doesn't look too hot for Seattle. They're not the best in the league, so hopefully our guys can take care of that, and hopefully the Lions can pull out a win. Again, that's 8:15 on your local ABC station, wherever you may be watching. A local ABC station, that's where the Detroit Lions will be playing against the Seahawks. Should be a fun one. All right, let's get right into our NFL recap here. Go through all of our games. This week, I went 8-6, which in today's NFL, I'm happy. Above 500.
I'm 7-7, but overall I'm 31-29. Sucks that there's 2 games today, because if I lose both, I'm going to be 31-31 overall, and I don't want that.
Don't want to go under 500.
No, you don't want to go under there. I went 6-8 on this week, so not terrible. Not the worst, not the best. I'm 33-27 overall, so a little more breathing room. And I think I'm tied for second with you, Anthony.
Yeah,
we're pretty close.
Yeah, we're tied for a points. It's a point system.
Ah, gotcha.
So I have one more loss, but we have the same amount of points. We have the same amount of wins.
Fair enough.
So first game, we got the Dallas Ryan Donnellys versus the New York Tony DeLucias, and the Ryan Donnellys pulled off the win.
Haha, screw you, Tony.
All right, Cowboys and Giants. Cowboys won. We all picked the Cowboys. I guess it was somewhat of a decent game, Thursday Night Football. I'm tired of the Cowboys being in prime time. They're going to be on Sunday Night Football next week. Can you stop, NFL, stop shoving the most hated team in America down our throats? I'm tired of it. I got some energy. We got both the first America's game of the week.
Don't listen to him, Roger.
Fox, we got a bone to pick with that. Brady's first 2 games are calling the Cowgirls. Great. And then, last week, Thursday night's football. Great. More Cowgirls. Next week, Sunday's night football. Come on, man. Come on. Nobody wants to watch Dak Prescott sling for just above 200 yards and barely edge out a win.
I do. I want to watch.
You're the only person.
I want to watch
500
Dakota Rain.
radius.
I want to watch Dakota Rain Prescott sling the rock and then be called and then have. Never mind.
All right.
I'm tired. I've stuttered a lot and not my best performance today.
I don't think this is my best performance either, but we're going to move on from the Cowboys. We got the Falcons and Saints, and I am a victorious man with the Atlanta Falcons. I believed and I conquered. 26-24 Falcons.
I am not a victorious man. I lost. I picked the Saints.
Lamp.
I lost as well. I picked the Saints as well. Kudos to you, Anthony. You've been having a lot of faith in the Falcons here lately, and look at you go, man.
I love that team.
Them Dirty Birds.
Hey, the Dirty Birds are one of my favorite teams. I'll be 100% honest with you right now. And then, ladies and gentlemen, once again, you can count on it every week, tail it every week. The Anthony Schulte upset of the week hits. Almost didn't. Steelers almost came back. But it doesn't matter. A win is a win is a win is a win. The Indianapolis Colts, I had a sneaking suspicion, made them my upset of the week, and me and 17% of America got that bad boy right.
Well, they won because the most feeble quarterback on the planet, who will be dropped this week in fantasy because he not only sucks, but he's hurt. Anthony Richardson got hurt, and he sucks. I don't like you. You put up 5 for me on my bench before he got hurt.
Well, if you weren't up before that, you're up now.
Good morning.
Certainly up. You're certainly up now.
I picked the Steelers.
That was a fun game, Colts and Steelers.
It was.
I liked when Red Zone was tuning into that one. Jonathan Taylor had a big night. Joe Flacco, still giving the Steelers headaches all these years later.
Anthony Richardson gives me a headache.
I don't think he's a fan of AR. Next game, Rams and Bears. The Bears sadly pick up a win. Not great. I picked the Rams.
What's happening a lot?
I did as well.
These are two games this year that they've come very close in winning. Very close. And this is one of them. I really wish they would have beat the Bears.
Yeah, it's tough because now you're just seeing the division, the NFC North, just tighten up more and more and more. And our next game is very unfortunate circumstances because it happened to be an NFC North divisional matchup.
Packers lost to the Vikings. I had faith in the Pack. I picked the Pack. Very rarely I'll pick the Packers. But we did not want Minnesota to go to 4-0. That's worst case scenario. Minnesota's 4-0. They look like the best team in the NFC North right now. Maybe not on paper, but from the eye test, the past 4 weeks, they've beaten 3 playoff teams from last year. So, from the eye test, the Vikings look legit. Sam Darnold's been magical, even though he almost gave the game away. A couple late turnovers. Justin Jefferson's looking incredible. Their backup tight end, I keep forgetting his name. I forgot his name, but backup tight end is playing fairly well. You got Jordan Addison getting in on the mix this week. Their defense is looking formidable. Vikings are going to be scary. But remember, past couple years, they've gone on these little bit of 6-7 game win streaks and still didn't make the playoffs. So I'm not really quite worried quite yet.
I had the Vikings, and I have both Sam Darnold and Justin Jefferson in fantasy.
Nice.
Were you thinking of Josh Oliver, Anthony?
Yes, Josh Oliver. Yes.
Just taking a look at the depth chart here.
The Packers.
Hawkinson's still out.
The Packers suck. That's all I got to say.
No, I don't think the Packers suck. I just think that the Vikings are on a roll right now.
They're on a roll right now, and Jordan Love making his return. I mean, he is a juggernaut for this Packers team. I mean, he keeps them close, and all it came down to was just an onside kick to try and decide it, but onside kicks are near impossible to recover.
Right. Only happened once, and that was the Cowboys against the Ravens.
Yes.
All right, moving on to the worst game of the week. This was ugly. I barely watched it because Red Zone barely tuned into it. The
Baseball
Broncos
score.
and Jets, 10-9. I picked the Jets. Wrong on that front. The Broncos got it done somehow, some way. Bo Nix was 7 for 15 with -7 passing yards at halftime and still won the ball game.
It's ridiculous. Bo Nix is the most confusing rookie quarterback on
really
the planet.
is.
He's so
Curious case.
He's just question mark, OH question mark. Bo Nix is so weird. That's all I got to say.
It's hard to grasp his talent right now.
I could not stand to watch this game just because it was boring, low scoring, and I was just like, oh my gosh, when is this game going to be over?
All Broncos fans are going to come up to the NFL and be like, oh, Bo Nix is the future. Jaden Daniels is terrible. Oh, Bo Nix is the greatest quarterback in the NFL. Nope, he's terrible. I'm sorry. When you put up stats like what he mentioned, he's not good. He's not great. He's just confusing.
Confusing. Yeah, that's the right way to put it.
That's Bo Nix for you. I also picked the Jets. Baseball score.
Moving on, Buccaneers and Eagles, one of the biggest surprises. The Buccaneers blew out the Eagles. First half, it was over. I picked the Eagles like a dunce, and the Buccaneers took the win there, 33-16. And I was playing against Mike Evans, so I'm...
And the one time that you're playing against Mike Evans, he went and
scored. What is fantasy? Every single one of his position players scored a touchdown, and he still only scored 90 points.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, no, Ezekiel Elliott didn't score a touchdown. He only got 3 points. But still.
Did you? Are you winning this week?
I still have Jake Bates, DK Metcalf, and Jamison Williams, and I'm down by 20.
Oh,
so you have a chance.
You can win.
I have a good chance.
You have a good chance,
if
especially
J-Mo
if DK
can do a few things. If DK can do a few things, I need one of them to score a touchdown. I need Jake Bates to get 6 points. I'll be fine.
Like a dunce, I picked the Eagles. Fire Nick Sirianni.
He's
Philly wants that.
3-10 in his last 13 games.
All of Philly wants you, and to be honest, I want you to fire Nick Sirianni. He's the most overrated head coach in the NFL. He's terrible. He was carried by his coordinators.
Agreed.
Well, I guess we were all dunces because I picked the Eagles as well. Tough day to be an Eagle fan.
Right.
But Buccaneers, they're a solid team, and Baker Mayfield has proven it again that he deserved that extension.
Cincinnati Bengals, Carolina Panthers, picked the Bengals 34-24 with the win.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Ryan Donnelly upset of the week did not hit this week. I picked the Panthers like an idiot, and I thought they'd pull it off because the Panthers have a whole new identity, I guess, with the red rifle, but apparently not. Bengals squeak out their first one of the year.
And the reason, or the fact that they squeaked out a win against the Panthers for their first one of the year, the Bengals are in trouble.
Bengals are terrible.
Texans and Jaguars from Houston. Texans taking a late game victory, 24-20. Like I mentioned, that defense came up clutch at the end of that one. I'm assuming we all picked the Texans.
Yes, absolutely.
And then
Come on, Jags.
49ers absolutely wiped the floor with the Patriots. That was an incredible performance. We all picked the Niners. The Commanders, you tailed me. The Commanders took the win, 42-14, as we mentioned. Jaden Daniels, incredible performance. Terry McLaurin got me another tud. And I'm feeling good about the Commanders. Commanders are a fun team.
Fun.
Jaden Daniels has been very calm, cool, and collected when driving the ship right now for the Commanders, and they just put up 42 yesterday. It was incredible.
It really was.
I'm excited to watch Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels looks like the future. He is the future of the NFL, and I'm so happy that Washington got their guy, because Washington,
They finally have a franchise.
they
quarterback.
finally have their franchise quarterback, unlike another team who's picked first-round quarterbacks and they haven't panned out, and I'm talking to you, Chicago.
Yeah, I hate Chicago.
I hate Chicago,
well,
too.
the Bears. I hate the Bears.
The city of Chicago is wonderful, but the Bears are terrible.
Don't
Same
like
with the
Bears.
Bulls, same with the White Sox, well, I like the Cubs, so...
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Raiders and Browns. I picked the Browns. Browns lost 20-16. I was watching the end of this game. They drove down the field. They were near the red zone or in the red zone, and the game has ended on a 4th down sack.
Yeah.
The Browns are a disappointment, as always. What do we come to expect, though? The Browns are always a disappointment.
Yeah.
Raiders taking that one 20-16.
I picked the Raiders to win.
I picked the Browns, and they stink.
The Browns are terrible.
That's all you need to say. They really suck.
Defense is elite. Offense is garbage.
Yeah.
And the Raiders aren't even that good. They didn't even have Devontae Adams in the
No.
game. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about either of those teams. Those teams are both very, very, very odd. Those are oddballs right there. But then we had Chiefs-Chargers. Very low-scoring game. Rashee Rice. Prayers up to Rashee Rice. Yeah. A tough injury. They're fearing it's a torn ACL. Not confirmed. They're doing an MRI today. Tough news because they already lost Hollywood Brown. They lost Rashee Rice, and they don't have Pacheco for another couple weeks. About 2 more months without Pacheco. So, tough one there for the Chiefs. They got the win, though. They always find a way to win. 17-10. I'm assuming we all picked the Chiefs?
Yes.
The Chiefs beat, say it with me, America, Jim Harbaugh, and the Chargers.
You got to have a Frank the Tank moment in Card Guys, just exactly the same. You got to talk Pistons on
Right,
Card Guys, too.
exactly.
There's some traditions
Cue the alarm.
on this show. Exactly. Cue the alarm.
I don't even know how that turned on earlier. But Ravens and Bills, I picked the Bills. Ravens wiped the floor with the Bills. Not much to say there. King Henry already talked about him.
Yeah, I picked the Bills as well, but Ravens proved it that they're still in contention, even though they're a 500 team. Try and cool down the hottest team in the NFL. One of the hottest teams in the NFL, because I think the Vikings are on a massive hot streak right now, starting off 4-0.
I picked the Bills because I thought that Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the NFL, and I still do. But it didn't look like that last night.
He doesn't have that many weapons around him, which is still very impressive that he's played the way he's played to start the season. So that was NFL Week 4. There's still two more games tonight to watch. We got Titans and Dolphins, Lions and Seahawks, and see how those all play out.
I picked the Dolphins. I need A-Chain and Hill to go off in my other fantasy league.
Dolphins as well?
And I picked the Seahawks to beat the Lions. Even though 81% of America picked them, I think all 81% of America is wrong. And I'm not saying that. I'm obviously rooting for the Lions tonight, but I think the Seahawks are going to pull magic out of.
I think the Seahawks are going to give the Lions a run for their money for sure. However, that's all we have for today's show. We struggled through this show. We really limped to the finish line with this one, but hey,
A rather short show.
yeah, I mean,
Shorter.
An hour. Kind of limping across the finish line. Monday mornings suck. But thanks for tuning in, Card Guys, Season 3, Episode 7 on 101.1 The Beat and YouTube. Stay tuned for Wednesday's program where we recap Game 1 of the Tigers series against the Stros, and we preview NFL Week 5. Also today, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
Could be later.
very well, the stream could start at 1. Who really knows with the Pistons? It's Detroit Pistons Media Day. We're going to hear from J.D. Bickerstaff. We're going to hear from Trajan Langdon. We're going to hear from all the players, Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren, Marcus Sasser, Asar Thompson, Tobias Harris.
Malik Beasley.
We're going to hear from everybody.
Piston.
B-Ball Paul. We're going to hear from
B-Ball Paul.
We're going to hear from everybody here at Media Day. So it's an exciting time. If you're a Pistons fan like me, I'm going to change into my Cade jersey right when I get home for Media Day. I'm very excited.
And who knows if Tom Gores will actually be paying attention or aware that there is Media Day today.
I don't know if he knows there's Media Day today.
I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't. It's definitely a toss-up.
I wonder if the media team knows that there's Media Day today.
They definitely do. It's Tom Gores is the one we got to think about.
Okay, folks, over and under. Will the stream start at 12:30 or later?
It'll probably
earlier
start
or later. I think it'll start at 2 p.m.
I definitely think it'll be later.
It'll be delayed like all of them. However, for my good buddies Ryan Donnelly and Michael Rosenkranz, I'm Anthony Schulte saying so long, everybody.
Love you, Mom and Dad. Anderson Pock. See you Saturday.
Love you, Mom, Dad, Jason, Eric, and Grandma. Thank you so much for coming up yesterday. Love you guys. Can't wait to see you Sunday.